working on Hip UX design right now, and it's going to have a main header, a main menu, and then it's going to have a sub menu below that. So right now it has this questionable image that I'm not sure I like, and then it has another sort of header drop in because I can't decide which one I want, and then it has like sort of a layout that gets me going. So all of this will likely change, but I wanted to show you how the menus work as I move through different sections of this. You'll see at the top that the image is there, and then the menu is over the top of that image. And I like that look, and you can't get it easily with the WordPress menu options, and so Divi overrides it in order to give you that look. So I'm going to just talk to you about how you get it to override that. So the first thing I did was make a bunch of pages that were going to be my layout options, and so under menus, I went in and just created the menus that I want to use on my site. That meant I had to create all of the pages with the template as I liked it, and that took me about 3 hours to figure all of that out. So 3 hours later, I come in and I say, okay, so I've got my my pages sort of quickly crafted out, enough for me to make my menus. So I have one called Top Level, and you can select a menu up at the top. You can see here that I have 6 menus, and the color, images, typography, those are going to be a subcategory of my menus. They're going to be a second line of menu. For you guys, where you're making a sort of here are the 3 sites I have, that would be like a top level menu for me. And then what each site is called would be a menu below that in my imagination. So in this one, I've got my top level. I've got one called color. If I select that one, it just gives me a color category. And I've gone through, and in my post area, I've made categories for all the types of things I know I'm going to make posts about, right? So I've added the one that's going to fit there, but I know I'm going to come back to this menu and add more once I have all of those post pages created. So I've got enough to start. That's really all I want. So that's my menu on the back end. The other thing I have to do on the back end is go into Divi, go to the theme options, and say, you know that WordPress layout and the menu bar that they give you, we don't want that because we're going to make our own menus. So you have to go into Divi, into theme options, all the way down to the bottom where it says custom CSS, and you have to type in some CSS. I hope this doesn't give you PTSD, but you just type in hashtag main header with a dash, and then brackets, and then display none, display colon none, semicolon, brackets, and then save your changes. I always forget to save my changes here. So once you save your changes, it should give you a check mark. And that's how you know they got you sorted. And then, so I've done 2 things on the back end. I've hit the menu area and made some menus from my pages, and I've gone to Divi and I've gotten rid of the displaying the menu bar that WordPress wants to display. So now I'm set up to move into my actual site and fix it. So when I come here, I'm going to go over to the outline so that I can show you what this looks like. I've got the full width menu and I've got the full width header. To get that menu bar to be on the image, I've gone into full width header, and I've gone into design, and then I've gone into spacing, and I've taken that margin a -100 pixels. And I literally had to sit here and figure out, was it 50 pixels? Is it 100 pixels? Is it 150 pixels? Just to get that margin so that the image was underneath the menu. I also have padding here. You'll see at 200 because I wanted that image to be longer than it was. I could have done a height thing, but I just went that way with it. So I've got my menu now laying where I want it to lay. It doesn't yet look like I want it to look. That's for another moment. I'm going to try to put it a little bit of a color on underneath it so that you can see the actual words more effectively. So that's my full width menu, and Shino is groaning. I don't know if you can hear him, but that's the noise that you're hearing. So in my full width menu, I just want to show you how to make one of those. So if you click on the plus button here and it says insert module, I'm inserting that menu, and I have to do it on each page that I make. I'm inserting it from not the new module options where I want to just click on the full width menu thing here. I'm having to go to the second tab over that says add from library. And when I do that, I see that I can say, oh, I want my top level menu, right? So that gives me that menu. To get that kind of menu, what you have to do is if you're on the full width header, on the full width menu, let me just do a one that I just do the full width menu. So let's say I've got this and I want to make the color one what I'm doing here. Now this one is a color. Over on the left-hand side where it's got the different options for you, the fourth one in it looks like a download. So when you click on that circle, it says, do you want to make this a part of your library? And you're like, oh yeah, I really do. So you just type in what you're going to name that menu, and then you can make it global. And when you make it global, it allows it to be a part of every time you change it on one, it'll change it on all the others. So that's the option. So just to make sure this is clear, if I want to add a menu, I click on the plus button, and I can make a full width menu from the new modules right there, or I can go over to the second button that's add from the library and choose, Shino's stretching now, choose color menu, choose whatever menu I've made, right? So that's the idea. If I want to make a menu and fix it first and then pull it over there, I can say full width menu, and then instead of like top level, I might be in images. Shino really wants to get up and do something else, I think. I go to images, and from images, then I can say okay, and then I can hit the round button and say make this a layout name called images, and then make this a global item, and then I can say save to library. As soon as I do that, it becomes green, and it becomes one of the options for what I can have as a menu. So that's a pretty simple thing to do. The reality, though, is that you have to add them. I'm going to just delete these off so we can see it. You have to add them to all of the pages as you make them. So it's just kind of a pain in the butt. But if what you've done in the beginning is set up a page, and then you're like copying that page, then that's really simple. Because when you copy it, you're also copying those two menus. I don't have that set up, so if I go over to color, I have color just pulling in the full width menu, but I need to actually add in the color one. I don't want to add the new module, add from the library, choose the color menu. And then I can use that on any of the menus, any of the posts, and any of the pages. That's Shino getting ready to go for a walk, that I have. So I can add that menu to any of the posts, any of the pages. And then, so if you come to a place where you don't want a menu, you can just take your menus off. But you've pretty much erased from the entire website the WordPress option of their bar, their menu bar.